As a creative professional working with clients and peers, I often find myself in a loop, constantly typing out feedback on multiple devices and tools. Discovering Pacto has allowed me to eliminate typed feedback and instantly send a recorded video with my action items. With Pacto, I can easily review videos, websites, images, 3D files, and audio files. My feedback can then be sent as a link with clear action items faster than any other tool out there. Pacto has changed my daily lifestyle. I now have more time than ever to do what I love most.
Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Damien Borba. I'm the CEO of Pacto, now running these live streams, speaking with amazing creative minds, scientists, artists, designers, developers, everyone. And today I'm thrilled to have a friend, Dan Patty here, a legend and friend, Dan Patty here, uh, to talk about creativity with us. So, Dan, who are you? Like, what's your background? A little bit of your story and where you're located, family, everything.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, well, thanks for having me on this show. My name is Dan Petty. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. Was recently in San Francisco for 15 years, working with all the startups and big companies out there in design, helping them do websites and iPhone apps and stuff like that. Um, so I've been a freelancer most of my career, probably 20 something years now. I've worked with big agencies, a lot of advertising agencies as well, mainly doing website stuff. And now I am full time working with a company called Hytopia. We're making a new game client, trying to take on Roblox and Minecraft and all that cool stuff. So it's been a good time. So now that's not just designing websites and apps, but also games. So been a really good time. Uh,
That's amazing.
yeah.
No, that's amazing, man. And I know you for years now. I remember the first time I met you, I was working as a PM on Adobe XD, and there was that kind of battle like XD and Sketch and then later Figma. And it was so fun. Like we were just playing with this new like possibilities, right? Like designing, prototyping and building a new tool. And you helped us so much there. I think you did the first kind of promotion that we ever had, like the UI design. Remember the surf one
Yeah.
that you came to the office in San Francisco and you took pictures and you designed the whole UI. Like it was so much fun. Do you remember
Oh
those
man,
days?
that was so fun. Yeah, we had the green screen in there. We took some photos of some of the people at Adobe. Yeah, and we did the first app for, or like the template that you could download with Adobe XD. And then I'll even put it in the book. I actually have the book on my shelf over here.
Nice,
Um,
man.
yeah, that whole design was in that book on how to use XD. That was
And it's
fun. That was a good time.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. I remember all the conferences, all the communities. At one point I joined your conference, Epic Currents, and man, what an experience. Probably the best experience that I don't know if you're planning to do more, but do you want to talk a little bit about Epicurrents and just I don't know if there's another one coming up, but maybe for people to
Yeah.
find out.
I was gonna do one this winter, but some things come up, so I'm unfortunately having to backtrack on that. But yeah, I created an event called Epic Currents, and it's been going for 10 something years now. It's been a long time, but it all started just because I was a freelance designer, but all my friends worked full time at all these companies, and I would go snowboarding during the week when nobody was on the mountain, right? But they couldn't go until the weekends. And I didn't want to go on the weekend. It was crowded. Um, you got to wait in the lift lines. So I literally created an event just so me and my friends could take off a week of work so they could come with me snowboarding. And it wasn't supposed to turn into anything. It was just supposed to be, hey, 50 of us together, just having a good time, just hanging out, eating some dinner. And everybody had a good time. So we tried to keep it going, and everyone was supposed to be the last one. But 10 years later, we still kept going. And I tried to turn it into like a real legitimate business. And then COVID hit. And that just destroyed all event. that you could possibly do.
Yeah,
So it's just been hard to get back into it. Things are different now. I'm older. I've had 4 kids, a family now. It's harder to get away and travel for a week. The design industry is so different now. There's so many designers now. It's just a whole different world. So I don't know.
man,
We'll see. There might be another one at one point, but it'll be spontaneous if there is.
that's amazing. No, I think you found a very amazing world there where we could bring people together. And when you go to conferences today, you spend so much time just like consuming information, right? Sitting and watching. And at the end of the day, you're dead tired. And at Epic Currents, you spend quality time with new people, like you create connections, right? And
Mhm.
I'm still like connected to all the guys that I met and people that I met there. So amazing. The first one that I went, my friend, my roommate, because you had the roommate thing, roommate now works for Adobe. So like so many doors are open and it's like it's insane.
That's what it's about. That's why I kept doing it too. Because none of these made money. I actually lost money on every single one that I ever did. I kept doing it because everyone was getting work and all these connections. I was even getting work from it. So in a way, I guess you could say I was making money. Um, and I don't know. That part was addicting, right? Connecting people, seeing their lives change, seeing people move from all over the world to get that dream job. It's just so cool. Um, yeah,
And also like I think that idea of this high like VP, senior VP, like CEO, they're just people, right? They're just people. They like to hang out, they like to make connections and breaking those walls. I think that was amazing. So thanks for doing that, and hopefully we can do more. I'll join the next one for sure. I'm telling
yeah.
Dan to do one here in California. I'm here in Oceanside, and maybe a surf one here. That
No,
would be or wave pool.
Austin. Yeah, Austin,
Yes.
Texas. We go to the wave pool. Yeah, that might be the one. We got to figure that one out.
Yeah. We both have skate ramps in our house now for our kids, and it's
Hmm.
how's that process? How's the how did you pull the trigger and just did it like the ramps?
I just got them. Yeah, I was like, I'm not thinking about this anymore. I'm just getting these ramps, and I didn't even get ones. So I got some ramps from Fresh Park, and they're like these metal, probably hard plastic too. I don't know, ramps. So they're not wooden, and they're not ones that take forever to put together. Because that was part of it. I was like, okay, if I'm going to get like a kit from whatever it was, I can't think of the names of any of them right now, but a kit from
Uh-huh.
something, I got to put it together. I'm not good with woodworking and tools. Like it's going to sit in the corner and probably never work. These ramps from Fresh Park, you can put them together in like 5 minutes. So I'm
That's
like, and
amazing.
you can fold them up and whatever. So here in the office, I can just move them around anywhere I want. And it's so fun. The kids love it. We're on them every single day. Uh, I did my
Yeah, the-
first little grind on a skateboard like a month ago. As a 42-year-old, I was like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I know. I follow my kids in skateboarding. My son is 5, Noah, and Maya is 9, now 10. She already turned 10. It goes so fast, and they skate. I'm trying to follow them, but they're already way better than I am. Like my daughter just did the first air over coping on a real ramp, a vert ramp, and she's 10. Like it's
That's incredible.
insane. It's insane.
Incredible.
I have butt pads and like all the
Oh, dude.
pads and
Yeah. When I started going on the ramps, I would wrap myself with pillows and like duct tape pillows in my arms and everything. I was about to get hurt because every little fall when you're my age or our age, dude, it hurts. It hurts for weeks.
Yeah, it's like a
Oh,
tree, like a heavy tree falling. It's so bad. And
yeah.
I hear you. And if we break an arm or something, right, then
Oh
the
man.
whole family will face trauma, right? Because
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
we drive everything. Um, all right, so again, let's get the conversation started here on the topic that we have. We're running these live streams to really go deep into creativity, the idea of human creativity versus synthetic creativity, like AI creativity, and all that. And go deep in. We're speaking with scientists and other artists. I interviewed Pablo Stanley the other day, amazing guy, and I'm learning so much. We're learning so much, And we have at Pacto, this startup, like I worked for 20 years in creative workflows, agencies, corporate. We met at Adobe and all that. And 2 years ago, I decided to leave it all behind, everything behind, to go full time with Pacto. And one of the core beliefs that we have, again, not everyone agrees with that, but we believe that that initial spark, that imagination, that idea of building something, seeing a feature that doesn't exist yet, a future like product, a future experience, all of that, that is uniquely human, and AI will not do that. What do you think about that? Is creativity uniquely human?
Oh man, I don't think I've ever really thought about this. Well, I don't. I would say no, it's not. Just I don't know. Because when you type something in Midjourney or whatever, it's pretty creative what it puts out. It puts out some really cool stuff. But I guess it depends on what creativity means to you. Which to me is just creating cool ideas. Using whatever thought power you have. So the AI's thought power, and it puts something out. I mean, I guess that's creativity, right? I would say so. I think AI could be creative. I mean, we use it for creative inspiration on things. Well, I don't. I use it for creative writing, maybe. I'll use it for inspiration there, but not really visuals or anything like that yet. I mean, if I have to do some comps or something, then like some game UI that I'm making, and I need to do like a quick comp of a game scene, like just an environment, I'll spit something out with that, and it puts out some creative stuff that I can't create or
Yeah.
grab from Google. So yeah.
That's so amazing. Like we interviewed a scientist, a PhD the other day, and she was explaining how ideas come to reality, like how they become ideas in on the conscious side. And she was explaining that the brain has three layers, like three networks. One is the conscious network, like we're talking here, and we know what's going on. It's really conscious. And then there's another one that's unconscious called imagination network, where the brain is running not for like non-stop simulations, running simulations all the time. And based on in our experiences, based on everything that we lived, things that we consume, and all that makes something very, very personal. And then there's a third layer that whenever, again, also unconscious, that sees something interesting in the simulations, and then it pulls that in. That's that aha moment that you have, like, oh, this is an idea, this is an awesome idea, because through all the simulations, one was picked by this network. And I feel like AI is the same thing, right? We are now able to run simulations outside of our brain. Like we're running a lot of simulations, and then we're being that layer, that network that pulls the ones that we like. So
Mhm.
that was like really fascinating. Do you see a big impact in the creative world, like for because of AI?
Oh yeah, massive, massive. I mean, it's going to take over a lot of jobs in a way, like the minute details of some of these jobs. Like somebody, for lack of a better example, somebody that would do copywriting that just kind of checks copywriting, right? You can just throw in some of this stuff, and it'll spit out whatever and check your spelling and all kinds of stuff. I think that's really cool. But those are like smaller jobs that were kind of like divided, where we overly divided, into segments. I think that a lot of that will come with design. There's probably eventually going to be something for UX, or user research and things. There's probably going to be all kinds of stuff that's going to affect a lot of our jobs. As far as like taking a job from a designer, no, it'll help us do better work even faster, which is what we want, right?
Yeah.
I think it'll affect the job market, because we overly divided on the design industry. All these roles came out of nowhere when one of us used to have just one or two designers on team that we did everything because it was our job, and then we split up those two designers ended up being like 100 designers on the team, It's like, what? Why? So I think a lot of that will go away. But it's going to make your job a lot better, especially if you know how to use it. And I think it takes a little time to understand it. You got to talk to it. You gotta get to know it, right? Just like with any tool. So
Yeah,
there's still going to be some traction, and still some people that stand out more than others at using this. It's just people
it's
that
just more. It's more available to everyone. Like it's like I think the ability to build cool stuff is more possible now. Anyone can experiment, can run simulations and do something special, right? Eddie, we mentioned a lot of designers. I worked at Intuit, and at one point we had over 400 designers in one company, and that's like
What are they doing?
it's insane. Yeah, it's insane. And imagine like managing all that and
Oh
again design
goodness.
it. Yeah, it
I
was.
can't wrap my head around it. I cannot wrap it. I've been in some of those companies. I've helped them freelance because they couldn't do it. So that's the thing. They couldn't even do it internally. They have 1,000 designers and they still needed to hire me to design something. And I'm like, what? How is this possible?
Something's wrong. Something's
Something
wrong,
is
right?
terribly wrong here.
Man, that's really interesting. I'm curious to know about your process, like before AI and now with AI, what changed? What's new? I remember seeing amazing videos that you're putting together now. Hopefully, we can do one for Pacto. Dan is one of our advisors on Pacto. And what's the difference, like pre-AI and post-AI for Dan Patty?
Nothing really. I mean, but again, I'm 42. Okay. I am, I've been in the field for a while. If I was younger, I would say a lot. I don't even know why I think that way, but I have my flow. I'm quick enough. I'm fast enough as it is. The way I have incorporated, and I'm not somebody that goes and just builds everything that I do. I like the design. I don't like the building part. I like to pay people to build it that are better and faster, so I can keep thinking about other stuff and doing other stuff and designing while they're over building, because I have to do many things. I cannot just do one thing. It's just not the way I function. So the only way I've kind of incorporated AI right now for me is placeholder content inside my designs, um, uh, and probably obviously copy. So but I'm so used to writing my own copy. I've been writing my own copy quickly on design comps ever since I started. I've never been a lorem ipsum user, so all that's been trained into me. That's why I talk about like widows and all this typography stuff all the time, just because I've always done it. I mean, when I got started in advertising, and everything about advertising was the headline, was the typography. So you couldn't just design something and just put some fake text in there. You had to use like close to real text as possible. And I just got so into just loving the idea of creating the copy real quick. So I still use like ChatGPT for things like that, or quick research. Hey, what is so and so? I'll look it up, or Perplexity.
Complexity is amazing. I started using it recently. Yeah, so good.
But I'm not yet into Cursor and all this other stuff, just because I don't have time yet. Again, if I'm at my desk, I'm designing or checking on some kind of business stuff, trading the stock market, or meme coins, or I'm doing something with my family, my kids. Like I'm at that stage in life where I just don't have the time right now to pick up something new. I want to really bad. I'd love to design something and just build it really quickly in Cursor or whatever the new hot thing is next week. I feel like there's a new one every week. That's also why I haven't took the time to, really dive into it, because it's like, okay, I'll wait until everything kind of settles down a little bit, and then, oh, okay, we were using that one. All right, I'll go with that one. It's just same with like design tools. I never learned Sketch. Never once learned Sketch. I was a Photoshop guy. Then the market switched to Sketch, and then suddenly Figma came, and luckily I didn't have to I don't want to say waste time, because I'm sure it wasn't wasting time, but I didn't have to go through the sketch process. I just went from Photoshop to Figma. So that's kind of the way my work happens.
That's amazing. No, that's super true. I think that's also part of that initial conversation that I was trying to have on creativity being uniquely human. Like I think there is this authenticity, right? This I don't know, something that's more human. I feel like all the work that we do, the creative work that we do, is is born from emotions, right? So our creative thoughts are emotional, right? And then we will hope to trigger that emotion on the receiver on the other end there, and that's so rewarding. But the way creatives communicate is very broken in our opinion. That's why we built Pacto, right? We see a lot of the creative communication happening in text, and text doesn't carry this emotion, right? Like I have to stop my creative thinking to switch my brain mode to now enter this typing mode, and I have to formalize my thought into something like a Figma comment, or I don't know, a Frame.io comment, and that's all crazy. What do you think about that, text versus video and all that richness in feedback in creative communication?
Yeah, text is hard to communicate a lot of times. It depends on who the person is. I love text. When I get clients, I prefer that we actually text message back and forth. We don't email. We don't do whatever. It's either actually Twitter DM or text message. It just you immediately feel more personal with that person, and that's the whole purpose of having a client, right? Is to gain a relationship, and that helps. And also, usually a lot of my work too is with the founders or the CEOs, so it's a little bit easier to just chat with them like that. You don't have to go through all these different channels, all these middle people to do it. But most of my career too, I've also, every time I had a design idea or something I want to show to a client or whoever's on the team, I would quickly record the design, and I would always have to upload it to record it, upload it to Dropbox, then send a link to them, and I would talk to the design instead of just sending an email, and some JPEGs. Like, who knows how they're going to interpret it, but if they actually hear my voice and see me talking to it, they'll interpret it how I am interpreting it, right? How I want them to. So, I mean, for almost all my career, ever since you could do that, I've been doing that. And some of the tools come out, make it easier and easier, like Pacto's making it easier and easier. And that's exciting for me because it's a huge part and important. That's probably one of the most important parts about my whole design process, is sending the design to the client and how I do that at every stage. And it's the video. The video is key. So that again, that's why when I found out about Pacto, I was like, yeah, I want to be a part of this. I want to see how I can help because I'm really passionate about this part of the workflow. So I'm a big fan of video, big fan of text too. Not a fan of anything else. No emails, none of that stuff.
You're human, like truly human.
No Slack, no Discord. I cannot do Slack. I cannot. I even almost started a company right before Slack. We were Y Combinator. This was like summer of 2012 or something like that. Forever.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the same YC class that Webflow was in. And a company called BloomNet. Some really cool companies came out of that class. But me and my co-founder, his name was Michael Jackson. He was a big Twitter dev, and we were creating something called Hum, which was a chat system that was just made it easier to chat with your team. It was basically Slack, but Slack didn't come out yet. And I remember when we were in YC, it's like a short little period, Slack came out, and we were sitting there pitching our idea to, Daniel Burka, who was an investor in Slack, Kevin Rose and Google Ventures, who were already invested in Slack. And they couldn't say it yet because it was a competitor. We didn't know it yet. And then, I'll never forget when Slack came out, we're just like, what? And they already had millions of dollars. all these people were already using them. Like that's what we were just making that. Why were we not just a few months earlier? I still wish we didn't stop doing it. I think it would have been great, but because you can have more than one product, right? There's Slack, there's Discord, there was what was some of the Hit Chat? What were some of the other ones? Or was it called Campfire? I don't know. There's all kinds of them.
There's a lot, Teams,
Teams. Like there's always room to create something new and have a slightly different take on it. So I'm a little bummed we stopped, but it's probably for the best, anyways.
And that's the beauty of, I would say, competition, right? Like having a lot of companies tackling the same problem. One is validation of that's a good problem, but it also gives anyone the opportunity to attack that problem from a different angle, like we are trying here. There's a lot of designers out there or people that I'm pretty sure someone watching now wants to do something, but they create narratives in their mind to not do that. It's like, and I lived that because I was in corporate, everything was fine, good salary, stability, but I needed to do this, and I would be so crazy mad if imagine like 20 years from now, I was like, oh, I could have done that. What do you say to that designer, to that creative that's kind of, I don't know, it's too risky?
It depends on what it is, but I think you gotta take a stab at it because you will regret it. At least regret not trying. And it's not that you have to try until you fail too. It's just that you just try, see how it feels. Design the idea and just lay it out in Figma and see how it feels. Like that's even trying, right? And that sometimes that's as far as you have to take it. It just gets the idea out of your head, so you don't have to stop. So you can stop thinking about it, and if it still feels good, then like, okay, take it a step further, maybe ask somebody to help you with it or something. But as long as you're getting it out of your head at a certain level, I think you won't regret anything. Like I've created so many ideas over the years. Like it's been ridiculous. I thought for now for sure I'd be a multi-billionaire. Yeah, living on an island and surfing every day. For sure. So do I have regrets about not following through on some stuff? Of course. But would I become a multi-billionaire? Probably not. Let's be real. And I love the career path I took. I made lots of mistakes, few successes, lots of trial and error, and it's been a blast. But my only one regret, is not is giving up when we were in YC. I think we could have pushed it a little bit further. And it's not even that big of a regret. I just know that me and Michael Jackson would have we could have made anything, and we could have been successful at whatever we made. Like we were a great team. It was just I think it was a hard time of our life. We just both had brand new babies and just in San Francisco, you're trying to figure it out. You're hitting the gold rush of the startup stuff. Medium just came out. It was that year. So yeah, but
yeah, I remember. Yeah, that's why it's so exciting in my opinion now to try new things, to experiment more, because you can, as I said in the beginning, you can run more simulations thanks to AI, right? So you can try more things, you can explore more things. One of the things that I keep seeing, especially on X, on Twitter, is some people are saying that static UI design layer might go away and people go straight from idea to prototype. How do you feel about that?
I hope so. I absolutely hope so. I don't understand why it's not there yet. I really don't. It makes no sense to me. I feel like somebody's trying to gatekeep us and like, hiding all the good stuff. Like somebody's got it. They're just not sharing it. Like the CEO of Figma, the leaders at Figma, they have it. They're using it. They play with it every day. They're making all kinds of cool stuff, selling it for millions of dollars. And while we're sitting here making JPEGs, that's what's happening. Because it doesn't make sense. Like, why do we not have it? It's just quick, it's a button. Push the button, the site goes live. Why is it not doing it? I know it's much harder than that. But
It's not like AI is changing that. I was playing with Cursor the other day. Man, that changed my mind. Like it was like I had this huge problem on building Pacto for Windows. I was not like it was insane. And then I was like, I'll try Cursor. Man, 2 seconds. It fixed the files, the like install the right dependencies, played the packages, and like did all the different experiments there, and it fixed it. So getting a design into actual working app or website, that's so real now.
man,
So
and
real.
it's got to happen soon. It's got to happen soon. Like everything would change with that. You wouldn't need, obviously you still have graphic design stuff that you need a design tool for, but the stuff that you need to put, live in an app or a website or something, like if and here's the thing, here's the kicker. This is what's going to succeed. Okay. I promise you, because you're going to see like 5 of these companies come out and they're going to try to do this. I mean, they already are. You got Webflow, you got Framer, you got Figma, you got Sketch, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure there's some more. The one that's going to succeed at this is the one that, and Canva, there's Canva too. Okay. The one that's going to succeed at this is the one that thinks like a designer, but builds like a developer. Now it's not the one that thinks like a developer and tries to build like a designer. Does that make sense? I know it probably doesn't make sense. It makes sense in my head. So, because like I'll try Webflow, I'll try Framer, but they're still developing. It's like for a developer in a way, or a designer that kind of can talk dev, right?
There's structure. There's a lot of structure there, right?
There.
Yeah.
When somebody makes it where I can literally draw a square anywhere, I don't care where, I draw a square here, a frame here, and I put a button there, text here. No, it doesn't matter where I put it. I can put it anywhere, and then I can hit the go live button. That person's going to win, and it's going to be the greatest thing there is. Or whatever tool does that, but it makes you think like, I can take this, I can draw a picture, and I can put it live. Not where I have to tag this HTML, blah, whatever code language we're talking here. I don't have to learn a new language. I can literally say, hey, put this here, and it goes. That person's going to win.
I feel like that's coming. Like I see this, like everyone talking about the engineering discipline like being the most impacted by AI right now. When we had to code in assembly, remember, like way back, and then C++, super low level, and then we have like this easier languages, right? Now we just went another level that maybe we don't need all this complexity to build stuff, right? To build websites, to build apps. I'm really excited with that future, and I think we're gonna do so much. But yeah, in the process, we'll lose people. That's just, I mean, like people have to change, right? People have to change. That's how things are.
I mean, yeah, it's just the way it is. I wonder if we lost a bunch of cool designers when the transition away from Photoshop. I mean, even something as subtle, well, that's not subtle, but you could argue that's a subtle change. But I think that change probably even, scared away some people. I think any little change is gonna affect people, and it's the more you automate, the more jobs that will go away in a sense. But those people will find something else that they enjoy, or the ones that really enjoy still what they're doing, they'll learn AI and they'll figure out how to make that a part of their process, and they'll become even stronger. I mean, that's all there is, unfortunately, there is more and more designers today than there ever has been, because it's so easy to get access to. But still, the ones that understand how to stand out, how to use these tools to their advantage, they keep learning constantly. Those people they'll not have a problem at all, no matter what. And when the market does dry up a little bit, they know how to switch gears. Like me, like I started doing events to make extra money. I started doing video stuff, creating content, and there's money in that, really good money. I could have spent that time creating other ideas or trying to start, which I've done. I've also tried startup stuff, But those are harder to make money on,
Yeah.
a
Oh
lot
man.
harder. I'm more of a, I can't take that much of a risk right now. Maybe in a few years I'll take another risk like that. But you got to learn to move around, and if work really slows as a freelancer, hey, it's time to go full time for a little bit. That type of designer that knows how to ride the markets and change where is needed, that person will succeed no matter what.
It's
But
like less artist, more strategic, right? Like in yeah, just finding the maximizing the opportunities. Yeah, I
yeah,
really
it's
really
all
agree. Yeah,
opportunity. Everything's about
yeah.
opportunity. Yeah.
No, no, I agree 100%. It, like back to creativity. Do you have days where you feel like you're not creative and you need to do something like, man, like I cannot come up with anything, and what do you how how do you get out of that? How do you do how do you get creative?
Oh, I have days where I can't even function. Like I don't even want to do it. Not that I can't. I don't want to. I don't want to be a designer. Literally, I'll have weeks of this, months of this, where I just want to get away. I don't want to deal with this stuff. Been trying to be creative every single day my entire, well, I guess
Brain fried.
25 years or whatever. Like, you need me to go another day? Can I please have a day off? Yeah, I'm actually terrified of what my brain's going to be like, as I get older. I really am, because like, man, because you work it so hard, you push it to extreme every day being a designer. I mean, you really do the good ones that you have to. But yeah, I don't know. You obviously push through it, but again, I think it's easier for somebody like me because and this might be my ADHD talking, but I have to do so many things. So if my brain's not being creative right now, on demand, like it has to be, I'm gonna look over here at my other monitor and do some like stock market stuff and investing, or do some day trading stuff, or I'm gonna come over here to this monitor and I'm gonna work on another course idea, or you know what, I'm just not gonna work today. I'm gonna go to the cafe, do browse Twitter, and get a coffee and a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, and just hang out. I mean, you have to do that. You can't just sit at your desk and force yourself to work all the time. Back in the day, I'd
Mhm.
always go to, when I hit these moments, I'd go to the magazine store. I don't even know if they have magazine stores anymore, but they used to have like Borders and Barnes and Noble, and you'd have this huge wall of magazines. They had like Trans World Surfing, Surfing Magazine, Surfer Magazine,
Yeah, they're all
Skateboarder.
dead now.
Yeah, they're
They're
all
all
gone.
dead.
But those are like the inspiration mecca. Nowadays, it's like magazines don't even care about typography design anymore. It's like, what happened
Yeah.
to magazines? But you could do that. I try not to force myself, because nothing good comes from it, because you'll just have to repeat the process the next day. So if I literally can't do it, I have to do something else. A lot of
And
people
then
don't.
that, go ahead, go ahead.
But some people don't think that way, and they maybe don't have another side hobby or anything they enjoy. I would highly recommend they go find something, and whatever it is. If learn how to, I don't know, do something, learn anything. Like for me, it was learning the stock market stuff. Like I enjoy that so much. I could watch videos on it all day long. Um, or play a game, play some Fortnite, or is Fortnite still cool? I don't know. Whatever's cool, play it. Get good at it for a little bit, just to get your mind off things. You gotta do something.
And that's amazing. It goes back to that point that I was talking about, the networks, the three layers, right? If your conscious layer is not delivering, like you're like, I cannot come up with ideas, it's bad. Go do something else, because your unconscious layer, your network, will be running simulations
Mhm.
freely, right? Without that brain power trying to force the conscious side. And
Exactly.
then you're running, you're doing something else, and oh my God, this like in the shower, like, oh, that's it.
Yeah, that's when
Because
the
that
magic
that
happens.
the network just pulled one of the simulations that were running there.
Yeah, it's such a good way to think about it. And most of my good ideas come from me when I'm in the shower, going on a drive. That's why I love, there's a bunch of coffee shops around me, but I will drive like 20 or 30 minutes to my favorite one, which is, farther away, just because that the drive is, I'm just constantly thinking, and I might not be like specifically, okay, as I'm on this drive, I'm going to think about the design. No, it suddenly comes to you, as you're like jamming out to music
That's the
or just,
thing.
whatever, you're just kind of experiencing life.
Yeah,
And I try to do that drive like at least once a week, sometimes once every 2 weeks. If it's just really busy, it's just, you gotta have moments like that,
just do something else. Yeah, just
Yeah.
go for a walk, like go to nature. That allows the simulations to run freely without you like
Yeah.
breaking it.
Yeah, for
That's so
sure.
cool. That's so cool.
Um,
Another thing that I really wanted to talk about, it is related to creativity, but it's more like I think as you mature as a creative person, I used to see work as my life. When I was a PM on Adobe XD, XD was my life. Like I was working 12, 14 hours a day. It was insane. It was like nonstop. And then it died, right? It doesn't exist anymore. It is there, but it's just gone. And a lot of people are like treating work as their life. Um, and then as you get older and everything, you start to see like, man, what really matters is spending time with my kids, with my wife, like my friends, my coworkers. But work is just work. Like it's fun. Like we love it, but it's not everything. It cannot be everything, right? What do you think of that?
that's a tough one, man. I agree with you 100%. It is hard. I understand that it's hard. Like for me, I enjoy designing. I'll be honest, not so much anymore. I don't. And I remember I got on stage at a conference once and I told people I didn't. Somebody asked me, I was like, no, I don't really enjoy designing. They were like, what was there something you'd rather do? Like, yeah, I'd rather become a pro surfer or something. Like, not design. Are you kidding me? I don't want to sit down all day. But this is the job I was given, and so I do it. No, I do love designing, but in hindsight, it's easier to think, man, I wish I didn't work so much, because I'm 42 now. We've been on it for 20 something years, right? There's a lot of times I look back like, dang, man, I should have chilled out a little bit. I definitely overworked a lot. But it also kind of led me to where I am today,
Yes.
and
Same here.
I know that I knew when to take breaks. Because I knew when to, okay, now that I'm pursuing my wife, right, a then girlfriend, that needs to be my focus, because I need to marry this girl. So that became
Priority number one.
that became my focus. And then it was the family and kids, but that's when it gets really tricky. Is because, especially in my family, like I'm the sole provider of the family. As my wife, we're doing homeschooling, so she's full time teaching the kids and everything.
How many kids do you have?
Four kids.
Four. Yeah, that's
Um,
intense.
So then it started to become this thing where it's like all this pressure to do work. Before it was just like, I'm working, I'm making some money, I'm surviving, oh, I made some extra cash this week. Yeah, I'm going to take next week off and go surfing or something. But once you have kids, it's like, oh man, the pressure's on. I cannot not have work. And that's kind of a scary situation to be in. So to that, when I think about that now, I'm like, okay, for those of you that are younger, that aren't married yet, that don't have kids yet, or don't want that, now is a great time to work all the time and make the money, because I kind of wish I had all that taken care of at this point, and so I could just, be with the family all the time. But that's not the way the world works. You have to work, right? 1% of us is a billionaire, millionaire, and they don't have to work again. But you notice even those people still work all the time,
And they get bored. Like I think I saw a tweet, someone say that they're bored and it's not good. Like they miss the crazy days.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, some of my favorite days thinking back, is when I had no money, and I was scared to death. I was terrified of what's going to happen. And I think some of my best stuff happened then too. And there's been a lot of those moments when I didn't have any money. I was like, oh man, what's going to happen here? Woo! A lot. And then I remember the first time I found out about taxes as a freelancer. I was like, okay, really? I owe how much money? Oh, that ain't cool. Yeah, there's been so many times where I've been, underdrafted in the bank account. It's kind of wild. Thinking back, it's like, man, it's been a roller coaster. It's been exciting.
Life is a roller coaster, right? It's all these ups and downs. And with my son, when he went through that sickness, it was that's the reason we started Pacto. And um, like all these moments where emotions are very intense, I think those are the ones that you remember, right?
Yeah.
That good or bad, in creating emotions. If you can do stuff to create emotions, just do it. That's really
Mm-hmm.
critical.
Yeah.
We're almost at time here, but I have a couple more questions. One is, in this new creative world with AI, where do you see us, our creative, like, crew, everyone who designs, who develops, in 5 years? How do you see creatives in 5 years from now?
Oh man. Where do I see this in 5 years? Well, the market's gonna be drastically different. So I think there'll be less of us, but it'll feel like there's more of us in a way. But there's gonna be a lot less of us, because there's the ones that are gonna have the work and stand out and do the cool stuff are the ones that are still learning now. They picked up AI. The designers now become builders. The builders now became designers. Like, there's going to see like some kind of intertwined thing happening there. So the people, like the developers that don't start to learn design, they could possibly fade in the background. The designers that don't start to learn how to let AI build their stuff, or if the design tool doesn't give us our magic button, those designers are going to kind of fade off a little bit. They'll still be there because there's work at every angle. There's work. It might be just local work, or you have to go work for your local newspaper if that's still a thing. Whatever it is, but it's still work. You're still going to have work if you're good and you want it. A lot of people, they just don't want to go after it. Yeah, I think it's going to look different. It's exciting. It's tiring. I'm already tired thinking about it, to be honest.
Your kids will be teenagers, like young people, probably in college and all that, in 5 years. So
Yeah.
like,
My oldest daughter already wants to be a designer. She and
nice.
all their friends at school are they use Canva. None of them have ever heard of Figma or anything, but why would they heard of Figma?
Or Photoshop.
Yeah, Photoshop. I cannot imagine trying to teach my daughter Photoshop. But she can jump in there in Canva and just move stuff around, and she creates stickers all the time, logos. She loves it. Canva makes it easy. I kind of see them, if they wanted to. I don't think Canva wants to do this, but I kind of see them being a big competitor in kind of a mainstream design thing. I mean, they already lead the market in mainstream design by far.
That's massive.
Which is wild. But obviously Figma does for product design, but for graphic design stuff, Canva just kind of took over.
Yeah, how do you prep your kids for this new world of AI, right? Like,
yeah.
that scares me a lot. Like, I have no idea. The other day I was playing with my daughter on Mid-Journey, just to show her what was possible. She was so happy and trying new things and all that. Like, but that can also give them power to do things that will put them at risk, right? So like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's too tough.
What we're doing is, I'm not focusing my kids on any of the design tools or anything like that, or AI or anything like that. Obviously I'll show them if they're by my desk or whatever, but I am teaching them as much as I can, as often as I can, just about business and finances. I think no matter what in life, that is the most important thing when it comes to work-related stuff, is knowing money, how to manage it, what to do with it, how to save it, how to invest it, what are taxes, how do you earn money, all this stuff. Like that is, it's so sickening that we don't teach that stuff to kids in school. It is so sickening. Like I'm every time I think about it, I'm furious that nobody taught me. It wasn't until I was much older I had to learn about money and how to use it and what to do with it. I think that's why I'm so excited about for the past 5-10 years, the stock market stuff. It's been fun learning more about what to do with my money instead of just sitting in the bank.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And the last question, then, like, if you have a message for the creative that's who's watching now and is kind of scared with AI and doesn't know what to do, what do you tell them?
Don't be scared. Just learn it. Just try to figure it out. It's right now. It's just the easy stuff. Learn how to let ChatGPT write some of your headlines, help you with some copy. Let Midjourney help you with some images that you can put in your designs. Simple, basic stuff. I think that's really all. Don't be too worried about it. Be more worried about the designers that aren't trying things. Like, I would say I'm more worried about the designers that aren't trying things. They keep reusing the same template over and over again. They're not learning design. They don't know what to do when they have a blank canvas in front of them. Those are the people that I'm worried about. So don't be that person. Be the person that can look at a blank canvas and do something with it. That can type in a prompt into something and let it, spit out some images and multiple prompts. So you find out how it can create multiple images and the images that you want, right? Learn how to talk to it. Always learn about typography in design and things like that. And when you get the time, slowly start to see, what can AI build for me? I don't even think that's a massive priority right now. As long as you're learning actual design. Those that aren't, I'm worried about you. I'm really worried about you.
That's really epic. Is there any project that you're working on? Like, how can everyone find you? Any help you need?
Yeah. Well, you can follow me on Twitter at Dan Petty, Dan with 2 N's. I also follow what is it? Hytopia. Let me double check our Twitter handle real quick, because that is something fun that I'm working on. It's Hytopia, HYTOPIAGG. It's a really cool gaming platform. User generated content. It's going to be so much fun. We're getting closer and closer to releasing stuff. We actually got a bunch of a game jam that's going on right now, and slowly over time you'll start to see my UI that I've been designing in there. The whole brand. So I'm the only designer at this company, and I've designed, and this is why I love working for companies like this. I could design the whole brand, all the web stuff, multiple brands with them, the game UI. I mean, absolutely everything goes through me, and it's so fun.
That's amazing, man. That's so amazing.
Yeah, so check those out
to see everything. No, it's also every place you touch, I think, becomes like you can see good design. Like all the advice you're giving us at Pacto is really helping. So congrats and thank you so much for being awesome, for being this great design, this great creative leader.
Oh man, thank you. Thanks for being a good friend, and thanks for working hard trying to create something cool for everybody. I think Pacto is going to be amazing, and excited to help advise where I can.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dan. See you around.
Thank you,
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
I created Pacto so you can get back quality time and do what matters most. When you use Pacto, you eliminate the need to type out your feedback or waste time trying to find previous comments. Instead, you can record yourself instantly, mark up your content directly, and send a recording with clear action items so nothing gets lost in translation. Review videos, websites, images, 3D files, or audio files faster than any other tool out there.